Welcome to another episode of Brilliant Light Ministries. Happy 4th of July. Today I would like to speak about America and in a spiritual perspective. Well, the first two terms we need to understand is the difference between principalities and principle. Principality is basically about shot callers, bosses, kings, um, people who run things, dictators, we call them now. And the definition of principle is an ideal. Like for example, a journalist would take any repercussions rather than reveal her sources out of principle. Maybe a police officer would take any repercussions than frame someone out of principle. Principle. Principality is just listen to the boss. You know, God is a principle. Because He deals in more of the refined areas, where the enemy is more about principalities, trying to run things, because that's who runs the materialism. So if you don't, so America broke away from a king out of principle. They want to govern themselves and not have no shot caller. The problem with having someone who's calling all the shots, a boss, a dictator, is that it sounds good to have someone in your tribe run things, but what ends up happening is they end up turning on you because man can't handle power. That is the essential problem with having a king. Men have always wanted kings. It's an ego boost to see your own kind. You live vicariously through a king. But men can't handle being kings. It's like a spoiled child. The reason a child gets spoiled is the parent gives them everything they want. So what ends up happening is the child ends up becoming very miserable. When you get everything you want, you don't get humility, which ends up deforming you on the inside, and you become a real jackass. Excuse my language. Really, uh, uh, you know. So kings always start wars and cause problems, and it's all they just get corrupted. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that was time has proved is that's the problem with having a king. So in this country, out of principle, decided to try on democracy. Democracy basically is about letting the bureaucracy and the power of the office control things, and men just kind of just men and women are expected just to uh, govern it. But in a democracy, a governance is so very important because every president has warned about principalities always nipping to take power. So a proper president, um, a proper president here has to balance things out and make sure that he keeps this country from ever falling prey to a principality, money interests, etc., so forth. Any kind of particular power, keeping a balance in all things, and it takes quite the talent and quite the intelligence, especially a country the size. So we have to support those principled leaders. But again, God is a principle. Equality, fairness, the right to pursue, everyone having the right to pursue happiness, free will to make your own choices. And it takes courage to follow God, because God is more of a aspiration, a faith, something that's intangible, but a great possibility in the inner world. Where a kingdom is just more of a kind of slavery that's setting you up. This feels good at first, but setting you up. Every man's sword will be against his own brother. You can see that in all dictators. They end up slaughtering their own people. Starts off like sounding good. You think this person from your tribe is about to, make sure you get everything and everybody else is oppressed. But if you look through every dictator, he ends up slaughtering his own people or setting his own people to get slaughtered. So America's a great case evidence of how power in the office, or power in the bureaucracy, or power in no no centralized check, balancing checks, and just really nurturing principle over principalities in the people's education is vital in maintaining the country, because the country is based on the notion that the citizenry will, at the end, always pursue principle. Therefore, pursuing God. Therefore, pursuing your higher self. So happy 4th, and God bless.